what have you, but it wasn't a good feeling. Yeah, it wasn't a, let's put it this way, it wasn't healthy. How about that? Is that a better word? That's a school teacher. She's going to pick me apart, I know. Yes, sir.
It's never good to have a pity.
That's the whole point, right? Pity parties don't work. Manhood and whining don't really go together. No? Man up, right? Yeah, that's manning down. Yeah, manhood and whining just didn't. I remember growing up, I never saw men whine. Now, that's not to say they didn't. We all know men whine. But there's a manly way to whine. There's a manly way to whine. Men whine and they do it privately. That's the way a man does it. We cry in the dark. That's how you do it. We don't whine in front of other men and other women. When I find a man that does that, guess what he ain't? He ain't much of a man. That's my opinion now. That's not in the Bible. It's not my opinion. Now, is there something, there's a difference between a man crying and whining. There's a difference. One of the things that impressed me about Brother Kate when I first came here was when he told the story about his dad, and he teared up. That was very manly to me, to have enough courage and enough honesty and integrity to actually allow others to see you feel something. So that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about actually expressing genuine feeling or compassion. I'm talking about a whine. Moan, groan, and complain about nothing. Not trying to do anything about it, but just whining about it. Not trying to find a solution, just wallowing in the problem. Even the prodigal son, he came to himself, he said, wait a minute, the pigs can't help me anyway. So I might as well start making this thing change on my own. That's what I'm talking about. That's what they were doing. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
All the children, okay, and wherefore hath the Lord brought us unto this land to fall by the sword, that our wives and our children should be a prey? Were it not better for us to return to Egypt?
They hear themselves talking themselves into, see, you remember. They're talking themselves into a place they never really left. You know, for most of us, for a lot of us, we never really left our past. We're still back there trying to polish it up because we think if we just run it just right, it'll change. It'll never change. You can spend the rest of your life in your past, dissecting what he said, what she should, what I should have did, and all that. And we do that. That's human nature. We spend a significant part of our present in our past, trying to change it. That's the problem. Not trying to understand it and make peace with it and move on toward our future. We're trying to change our past. Some people are still mad at folk that's dead and gone. Well, they told me I would never be nothing. And how many years ago? That was 50 years ago. They've been dead 20 years, and they're still controlling you from the grave. They're not controlling you at all. You're controlling yourself. Because you won't let it go. And you have to forgive them. Yeah, but I didn't do nothing wrong. Yeah, but you're paying the price for it. They can't pay the price for it. They may have said or did something wrong. It's up to you to realize it. I didn't do it. It wasn't my fault. But I'm going back and speak to the stone. I forgive you. You know why I need to do that? So I can move into my future. I'll never move into my future if I'm anchored to my past or with something somebody said or did or whatever it was. Got to get on with life. It's real short if you didn't notice. You don't have 1 second to waste on anything or anybody or any event that's not going to be in your future with you. Unshackle yourself from foolishness. And it really is foolishness to try to change anything, anybody, especially from your past. Go ahead, one more.
He said, one, two, let us make a captain, let us return to the place that we never left. You know why we never left there? You know why they never left there? Because prophetically, they did God allowed them to do exactly
what they said they were going to do. Die in the wilderness. Came out of their own mouths. And what they were doing was manufacturing. And we do that. We will manufacture a level of stress and try to blame or share the responsibility with other people.
Amen.
Yeah, I wonder why they wanted to attack him. Just go.
Well, you know, misery loves company, so we got to make somebody in charge of this mission that's not going to go anywhere except to the graveyard. So make them feel good about creating their own sense of demise, if you will. Manufacturing an environment of fear. That's what they did. They created this environment that would sooner or later consume their life. We have a tendency to do that. Fear plus worry equals stress. Here's a word for it. Stress. Affects every one of us all the time. Every single day. No matter what your title is, no matter where you came from, no matter how you look, how smart you are, your color, your social status, or your financial ability to do anything, this one word harnesses a lot of your energy every single day. It's called stress. Bible full of stress. Full of stress. Listen to this. Stress is the most pervasive and characteristic aspect of human life today. Healthcare professionals the world over have long since identified the connection between stress and all types of illness.
Amen.
Physical, mental, and emotional. It not only impacts our day-to-day health, it also hastens the aging process. Stress on anybody or anything reduces the capacity and accelerates the aging process. It accelerates it. You ever seen anybody, you thought they were 55 years old, they said, well, I'm 35? And you had to catch yourself before you said something? And before it came out, oh, yeah, man, okay, well, how you doing tomorrow? What you going to do? You change the subject real quick. They just shocked you. Because they don't look their age. Of course, oh yeah. That's because we see them all the time. We see the start of them. Yeah, it's and a level of stress.
Yes.
Nobody's got more stress than Obama. But think about it. How does he handle it most of the time? See, first of all, we really don't know how he handles it because y'all don't see him all the time. But you ever seen him work in front of the podium? You ever seen him nervous in the service and, I don't know what we going to do, like Brother Hill said, but I don't know what we going to do. He never acts like that, no matter. I mean, can you imagine his position? Can you imagine being in his shoes and having to deal with what he has to deal with? Not only his problems in his household, but the whole world problems. You think you got some little problems? Some big problems, rather? Can you imagine having the whole country on your shoulders? Most of them don't like you, and they say it all the time, they act that way all the time, and then the whole world looking at everything you do. You can't go on vacation, you can't do this. It's always something you're doing wrong. Like you're responsible for the whole world. So he handles his stress obviously real well. Managing, the best thing you can do with stress is manage it. Amen. You're not going to eliminate it. It's going to always be there. Rich people have stress. You can't buy a stress-free environment. There was only one, and it was the garden, before they manufactured some stress. And Jesus Christ came and died on the cross to connect us with that stress-free environment.
Amen.
Spiritually. Okay. Stress on anything. In this new high-tech, fast-living, morally and spiritually confused world we live in now, our inability to manage stress has landed more people in hospital beds and psychiatric wards and on operating tables than perhaps any other single factor. Stress is an underlying cause of that's behind addictions to tobacco, alcohol, and narcotics. It is known to contribute to heart disease, high blood pressure, ulcers, and strokes, and is linked increasingly to more forms of cancer. One of the words, stress. thing. A lot of times when you're feeling stressed, you don't even know it. It's silent. It doesn't announce itself. It shows up in different forms, though. It shows up in different forms. Stress is a killer, literally. Perhaps the two biggest buildings, spiritually speaking, two spirits that create the more stress are fear and worry. Mr. Fear and Miss Worry, when they get together, they create something called stress. We can manufacture both of those. That's the number one is fear. The number one fear in the world is the fear of falling. Nobody want to fall. Anybody? Can you guess what number two is? Anybody? One I feared the most when I was a little kid, and somehow, as long as I ran away from it, kept getting thrown back to it. Number two fear in the world. Fear of public speaking. Nobody likes to talk in front of groups of people. Some people say, I'd rather die than talk in front of a group of people. And the fear of death is number 4 on the list. Way down on number 4 on the list, the fear of death. They'd rather die than talk in front of a group of people.
Not literally.
Isn't that sad? When fear grows up, it turns into something called phobia. You heard of phobia? Yeah. Phobia is a grown-up fear. It's the fruit end of fear. It's an extreme and irrational fear. It hangs out with insanity. And all extreme anger is insanity. What is the term? How do we define stress by the dictionary? Anybody have an idea? What does the dictionary say? Stress. Don't cheat, yeah. I know y'all got those devices right. I want to look it up. Pressure or tension exerted on a material object. See, stress is not just what you feel. When you got a machine, there's stress on your engine. If you don't put no oil in it, there's stress that's going to be created in it. So stress is not that. It's always, that's why oppression is stress.
Amen.
Any kind of pressure.
Amen.
Depression, oppression, all that stress related. It's all fear induced too.
Teach, brother.
It's tension exerted on a material object. A state of mental or emotional strain or tension resulting from adverse or very demanding circumstances. That's what stress is. Your body's way of responding to any kind of demand. Good or bad. All stress is not bad. All stress is not bad. If you get married, that's a stress that comes along with that. We won't go into details. The honeymoon is a very stressful place. Boy, it should be. By the time most people get there, all the honey's out the moon. Y'all know that, right? It's true. Let's take a look at this first place where these two guys showed up. Fear and worry. Let's go all the way back. Genesis 3, right? Genesis 3 and 9. Let's see. Let's listen at the language. Listen at the language. You know, fear and worry, they talk before they walk. They talk before they walk. Start talking fear, you start walking fear. Okay, that's verse 9 through 12. Let's see how that whole thing showed up there.
And the Lord God called unto Adam and said unto him, Where art thou?
Okay, question for you. Did God not know, did he lose Adam? So it's rhetorical, that's right. It's a rhetorical question. So why was he asking that question to Adam? Realization. A lot of times we don't move in the direction of change because we don't realize where we are. How can I get to California if I don't know I'm in Kansas?
Right.
Nobody can help point point me in the right direction if I don't know where I'm starting from. So if I haven't identified where I'm starting from, nobody can help me get anywhere. Got to identify, where are you? Where are you spiritually? Where are you emotionally? Where are you physically? Until you identify that, you can make no strategic plan to get nowhere else except where you are. Now, if you're happy where you are, if you're happy where you are emotionally, fine, you're in the right place. If you're happy where you are physically, mentally, you're in the right place. Financially, you don't need no instructions to go nowhere. Stay where you're at. But that's not normal. Normal is to want to grow in the direction of a healthy, wholesome, prosperous place. And only you can do that. And it's nobody's fault if you're not there. Every area of life, if you're not where you can feel healthy and whole, you can't subscribe that to any other human being. The moment you do, you defeat the whole purpose and the possibility of you ever moving toward getting better. In other words, you got to take responsibility for where you are. Even if somebody else has an influence on where you are, it's still your responsibility. Different words, right? Just because somebody influences you where you are right now, doctor, lawyer, teacher, that's just an influence. You can decide to sever an influence anytime, or to reconnect a new influence. Fight or flight. Flight is never really the answer, because you got to start all over again. And if you haven't dealt with you, because 9 times out of 10 the problem is you, then you'll just be flighting all your life. You'll be running away from you all your life. Guess what? You'll never catch you. Stop, turn around, confront yourself. That's what the prodigal son did, right? He ran away from the father. He ran away from himself, because his father and his identity were one at one time. He decided to take my own idea. I can do it my own way. Old man, I'm out. Cut me my check. Wasn't even his check. That's how generous the father is, right? Wasn't even his check. He was generous anyway. He funded his foolishness. And he went and decided, I got to make a change and go back. It is my fault. I will apologize. I will come to my senses. That's all our responsibility. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Verse number 6. And he said, I heard thy voice in the garden, and I was afraid.
I was afraid. Wait a minute. Yeah, he was afraid. Who told him? I mean, God's going to ask him the same question of, well, where did this word come from? Fear. Go ahead.
Because I was naked, and I hid myself. And he said, who told thee thou was naked?
Hold on, that's it. Right there is a breakdown in most of our life. Somebody told us something. People are going to tell you stuff all the time. Problem is, you have a responsibility to listen enough.
Amen.
We listen too many times to the wrong people, and not enough times to the right people. See, for us to seek out the right people to listen to, we have to confront us. Most of the time, we already think we're right. So why would I look for somebody to tell me what's right if I'm already right? Hardest thing in the world is to tell myself I'm wrong. The healthiest thing in the world is to tell yourself I'm wrong. The moment you admit you to you, then God can intervene and help you get better. Greatest fool in the world is one that fools himself. Greatest liar in the world is the one that lies to himself. Stop lying to you. If you want to stop lying to other people, stop lying to you first. Well, it's a real simple equation. You can't be a liar to you and tell everybody else the truth. It doesn't work that way. If I lie to me, I'll lie to you too. Benefits me, right? That's how human nature. I'm talking about human nature now. I'm not talking about me personally. I'm guilty of this charge too. Okay, go ahead, sorry.
And he said, who told thee that thou was naked? Hast thou eaten of the tree whereof I commanded thee that thou shouldest not eat? And the man said, the woman whom thou gavest to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I
and something else. Didn't take no responsibility. It goes on and on. You know, eventually they talked themselves right out of the garden, right out of fellowship. But they kept talking instead of taking responsibility. If Adam would have said, you know what, I messed up, Lord. It was me. Even though he had influence, even though somebody else was a party to his decision, he should have manned up and said, take full responsibility. I'm in charge. If I truly want to be in charge, I have to be in charge of all the good and all the bad.
Amen.
All the good and all the bad. Especially if I'm going to be held accountable for it anyway. This thing, you're going to hold me accountable for all of it anyway, good or bad. But I'm not going to take responsibility. I'm going to get penalized for it. I might as well just take all of it. God has a respect for that. You know why I know that? Because when David fessed up, quickly too. He said, it was me, Lord, I sinned against you. He never blamed on the throne. And the whole Bible is centered around David. God and David. The house of David. The city of David. Man after my own heart. Why? Because he took responsibility for his broken humanity. Amen. That's all God wants you to do. He know you already broke. You just need to admit it. I learned some of this stuff the wrong way. 1 Kings 9:19. Let's look at that. Let's look at another set of stress. 1 Kings 19. We're going to go verses 1 through. Yeah, excuse me. 1 Kings 19, verses 1 through 5. But let me give you a backdrop on it. This is about Elijah, right? He did some great things prior to this. You know, he did the things with the prophets and Baal, and he dealt with the lady that had this issue. He told her to go in and make me a cake and you live. And, quite a few things that he did miraculously prior to that. He did quite a few things. And then he ran into a guy named Ahab and his lovely wife, Jezebel. Now he's on the pinnacle of success spiritually with God. He's done these great, marvelous, miracles, miraculous things, right? We can all go peaks and valleys, all of us, especially the great prophets did. So what happened? He felt so much stress that something happened to him. Go ahead, let's read verse 1 through 5.
And Ahab told Jezebel all that Elijah had done. It was how he had slain all the prophets with the sword. And Jezebel sent a message to Eli, saying, so let the gods do to me, and more also, if I make not thy life as the life of one of them by tomorrow about this time. And when he saw that, he rose and went for his life. He came to Beer, Sheba, who belongs to Judah, and left his servant there. But he himself went a day's journey to the wilderness, and came and sat down under a juniper tree.
Yes.
And he requested for himself that he might die, and said, it's enough now, O Lord. Take away my life, for I am not better than my fathers. As he lay and slept under a juniper tree, behold, and an angel touched him, and said to him, arise and eat.
It's amazing, man.
Amen.
This is the great Elijah. Thank you, brother. Great Elijah. Miracle maker, man. All kind of feats. Now he's asking God to kill him. Take me out of this life. All because Jezebel said, look, I'm going to turn you into one of those prophets you just killed. Fear and stress. He's so stressed out that he wants God to eliminate his life. So a lot of times we say, well, I wouldn't do that. You don't know what you do. I mean, you think you wouldn't do certain things. You just haven't felt enough stress to consider it. It's easy to make a call when you ain't got to make the cut.
Amen.
I know I wouldn't kill myself. That's what I believe about me too. But there are people who have felt enough pain, obviously, to kill themselves. I don't understand that. I really don't. I felt some pain. I haven't felt enough pain to take myself out.
Amen.
But there are people right now that's hooked up on all kinds of machines and begging for somebody just to pull a plug. And I know it's an abomination of God to do all that, but my heart says it's just a shame. That's all. I can't say nothing else. It's just a shame. But there are loved ones who have begged their loved ones, please, if you really love me, end this for me. Let me go. Let me go.
Yes.
And the opposite is true too. There have been loved ones on machines, brain dead, physically dead, but because of their ego, their family's ego, oh no, we can't let it go. Well, it's been 9 years. And I understand that. I understand sometimes you say, well, look, the moment I pull the plug, it may revive. It's a tough place to be. My dad laid in a coma for 3 weeks. He was 41 years old. I watched it. He didn't have a gray hair in his head. Beautiful man, beautiful. I'm not saying it because it's my daddy. He was a beautiful man. He really was. He had a fatal head injury. Fell down some basement steps. My daddy was an alcoholic. Most of my childhood was consumed by alcoholism. It was a tough environment to grow up in. He was a great guy. He was a great, life of the party. Had a big heart. But he grew up watching his dad and his brothers drink. It was passed on to him. So from the age of 12 to about 17, my childhood got arrested because I was my daddy's daddy. I worried. I was a little child, always worried about my dad. Not supposed to be that way, but that's the hand I was dealt. So I would always imagine getting a call that you need to come out here, your dad's been smashed up because he used to drink and drive. This is way before AA was real popular. So this was a secret. You had to hide stuff like that. Yeah, you had to hide stuff like that. That was a secret. You didn't, so it's a stressful. I'm talking about stress because I know what stress feels like. It's stressful watching somebody that you love slowly disappear from your eyes. When my daddy had his final fatal accident down the basement steps, he was 141 pounds. That's thin for a man that's 5'11". He was skin and bones. He had cirrhosis of the liver. He never told nobody. The doctor told him. When he decided that he needed help, it was too late. He worked for General Motors in Detroit for 9 years. And one morning he didn't get up. How about this for stress? When the paramedics finally got there, after him laying in a coma for 10 hours, because a coma looks like sleep. So you can't tell everything. If you don't know, especially if you're a kid, I was 17, my little sister's 13. If you're a little kid, you don't understand it because you hadn't been trained for certain things, because you don't, especially at that time. He was snoring. I thought he was asleep. He was in a coma. Here's what they said to me that plagued me my entire life. It still does today. They said, if you would have called him last night, he might have been alive. How do you carry that? 17, how do you carry that sense of responsibility? You still carry it. You'll never go away. What's worse in that? I'm sharing this story with you because it's still going on. Stuff like this still goes on. As a kid, I always had the inclination to tell my daddy I love him. Y'all know why I talk about love all the time? Talk about words all the time? Because I heard a whisper in my spirit that says, see, God knew something I didn't know. God knew he was on his way out. I didn't know that. So that's why I hear this little thing. Tell your dad you love him. But I grew up with a dad who came from old school. You boys don't tell their dad you love them. That's not so. We don't hug and kiss each other like we do now. So every time I heard the whisper to tell my dad I love him, my little ego said, no, that's that's unmanly. And you got trouble in that area anyway, because you're a nerd, and you're skinny. Your voice sounds like your sister's voice already. And you love them. Every time the phone will ring, I ask the phone, hey Pam, this is Mike. That's the reaction I got too. So I started learning how to put the bass in my voice. This is Mike. That was my bass, right? Oh my goodness. It was tough. It really was. Stress. That's the kind of stress that we have to deal with from day to day. Everybody's got something going on in their lives. Everybody got a tragic story like I just told. Our past. See, I'm talking about the past. I'm talking about words, love and all that. I should have seen it. I wasn't willing to risk humiliation. See, I'm almost 60 now, so I learned a few things. See, I learned humiliation is fine. If you sow it in the right fertile soil, it's okay. We could have never got salvation if Jesus wasn't willing to go through the land of humiliation on our behalf.
Jesus, Lord.
Humiliation. How are you going to ever be home if you don't have any association with humiliation? The core word for humiliation is humility. Can't get away from it. Wisdom says it's okay. It's okay if people know what's obvious sometimes. I can't hide. I can run, but I can't hide.
That's one of the things, that's one of the first things I did whenever I came into the church. I would come to Bible study in the morning, on Sunday morning, and I would take a lesson, knowing that I don't know the answer, knowing that I probably couldn't get everything wrong, you know what I mean? But I would take a lesson anyway, because I also knew that when I presented my answer, if my answer was right, then the teacher would, check me on it, applaud me, and everybody would applaud me, so on and so forth. And okay, I knew at that point, I knew that what I was thinking was right. But if I was wrong, then I knew that the teacher and the class as a whole would set me right. You see, I wanted to be right more than I was worried about being embarrassed for saying what's wrong. You understand what I'm saying?
I understand.
So I would come and I would pick the lesson. And sometimes I was right, and I felt good about that, but sometimes I was wrong. And then people in the class would just straighten me out. No, it's like this. No, it means this. No, it goes like that. Or the teacher would do it. So I learned to overcome. I learned to overcome that fear of being embarrassed or saying the wrong thing. And people been dealing with that since high school. You won't put your hand up to say your answer for fear of saying the wrong answer. But actually saying the wrong answer is what put you in the right. So I had to learn to overcome that a long time ago, and I did, and it's been blessing me ever since.
You overcame that in the school of hard knocks.
Yeah.
Everybody didn't go through that school. Unfortunately. And some people, I'm glad I didn't go to that school. But you know what? Here's the thing. He went through it early in life. Guess what? Sooner or later, you're going to have to experience some hard knocks to appreciate something. If you want to grow, there is no growth. Look, there's no growth in pleasure. There's no growth in what feels good. There's no growth in comfort. None of that fluffy stuff. There is absolutely no growth. Yet we want all of that as much as possible all the time. Yet we want to grow. It's impossible. You have to constantly put yourself in a position that everything that you're reaching for is just beyond your reach.
Amen.
If you can get to it, you will never grow past what you can get to.
How about that?
If you want to overcome, see, overcoming means that I have to get to what I can come to and then go over. Amen. We're too afraid to go beyond what's comfortable for us because we think what's on the other side of that is something that's going to harm us. That's going to make us grow. Growth is what we're after, right? That's why we can be spiritual ninjas and be happy with it. Because we have an attendance record that says we've been here 40 years.
Well,
That's ridiculous, people.
amen.
Your ego's all messed up. You feed nothing but ego. That's the soul saying, I'm in charge. Yes, ma'am.
So just to kind of piggyback off of what my brother just said, so with humiliation, I think a lot of us as Christians, it seems like to me that in the Church of Christ where we don't know the definition between humiliation, judgment, and correction. We want to take humiliation or somebody trying to correct us, and we want to say it's the same thing as you're judging. We want to say that it's judgment. And what people fail to realize is that as Christians, those are three completely, totally different definitions. Just because you're correcting me at my level of humiliation doesn't mean that you're judging me. It means that you're trying to correct me and get me right to where I'm supposed to be. We completely have misconstrued what correction and humiliation completely, totally mean.
I agree. Most of where we are is in lost definitions. We're still in elementary school, spiritually speaking, when it comes to defining simple terms. Why do you think I talk about stuff like that? Because I'm still defining some things I thought I knew. I'm running out of time. So I got to go back and start at A. I think I know my ABCs, right? I'm way past Z. I'm there, you know. I know what I know. Until I mess around and define something down the line, and it was wrong. Wait a minute. Something that simple's wrong? What else could be wrong? Now, this is me talking to me now. You know, you talk to yourself. Be honest with yourself, tell the truth. I defined something that I think I've been doing right the whole time, and I found out the definition was wrong, so obviously what I was doing was wrong too.
That's right.
Pure logic, right? Application can't be right if definition is wrong. Can't do it. So when I find out my definition is wrong, everything that I try to apply, especially when it came to love and marriage and all that other stuff, if my definition of love and marriage is wrong, then that's the reason why I had, like the woman at the well, 4 or 5 husbands. Her definition, obviously her definition of what a husband was wrong.
Amen.
She wouldn't have had so many. Amen. So I started defining stuff. I found myself going all the way back to A in my life. All the way back to A and looking at stuff that dealt with A. If I want to grow. If I don't want to grow, I can be satisfied not knowing what I think I know. Like most of us do. Fooling myself.
Amen.
Getting upset when somebody say, hey, look, do you really know what you know? What do you mean? There's my ego. You got to redefine who you are. Unless you're perfectly satisfied with everything about you. Transformation is a process. Are you at the end of your transformation?
Not close.
Where are you? He asked Adam, where are you? Some of us have never began the process. Your age got nothing to do with it.
That's right. Amen. Preach, brother.
Amen.
Some of us has never began the process of transformation. The Bible gives you a definition of what the process is all about. Romans 12, 1 and 2. Not Romans 2. Romans 12, 1 defines what you need to do prior to engaging in this process called transformation. Want to look at it again? How many times have we looked at it? Most of us are not willing to do that. Let's look at it. Y'all looking at me like that. You've heard it over and over again. But see, we've never inserted ourselves in that scripture. We've never filled in the blank with us. We fill the blank in with everybody else. Huh? Oh, so-and-so need to be here to hear what was said. No, you need to be here. Yeah, you need to be here. Did you hear? He who have ears, let him hear. Everybody ain't got ears. Little bitty ears, you got them. Okay, what's this say? And he was serious. Look at that word he used. I beseech. I'm serious about this, like a heart attack. You need to listen to this. Now, listen. Go ahead. Somebody read that.
Romans 12, verse 1 and 12, and 1 and 2. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service.
Hold on. What did it say?
which is your whole thing.
What's this say I need to do first? The first step. Present my body. Huh? A living sacrifice. Yeah, a living. What's that mean? See, we can say what it says, but until we get clarity on what it means, it makes no sense. We can't make application. This is how you read the book. If it's not just literature to you. If it's just not a book that you bring to church and you open it when the preacher say open. That's religion. We're talking about real Christianity, it says. I look at this word and I apply me to it. Not my mama, not my daddy, not the preacher, not me. Present your bodies a living sacrifice. What's a sacrifice? In the Old Testament, a sacrifice was something that was totally surrendered. It had no will. It did what the master, whoever was controlling it, they put it on there, they got it ready, they fix it up. That's what that means. It means the first thing before I do anything, I got to surrender myself to God. All of me. Which is the process. My wallet, my thoughts, my emotions, my attitude. Oh, here's one. My attitude. That too.
Mercy.
Especially that. Yeah, look. Everything is undergirded based on your attitude. You can give all the money in the world. You can serve 24/7 like Anna in the church house, at the temple. If you got a bad attitude, or a wrong attitude, a selfish attitude, a self-centered attitude, a controlling attitude, see, it always go back to attitude. That's why the first sermon on the mount was, be
Teach, brother.
Be attitude.
Teach, brother.
Listen to what the word said. Be attitude, be what? Be better. Be loving, be joyful.
Teach.
Be kind. Be self-serving. Be better than what you are. Yes, sir.
And I know you're getting deep into Romans 12, verse 1, and it says so actually, but the sacrifice, a sacrifice to God, it wasn't the one with the broken leg, your left behind one, the dirty one. It had to be perfect. It had to be clean. It had to be acceptable. It had to be something that I mean, it's your prized possession, your animal, your best. God don't want your less. I'll leave it alone. I'll let you go ahead, brother.
Don't tell me you love the Lord. But Monday through Friday, you'll put on suit and tie. You'll put on your best. A lot of people say, oh, well, you know, God don't really come as you are. See, that's an excuse with you.
Yes, that's it.
If you can't do no better, that's fine. The Lord accept that. But when you got better in your closet, on reserve, for the boss man, because it's a policy, that's still part of your excuse. And then on Sunday, you decide that I can just dress down and be comfortable. That's presenting yourself to God. Here's what the slaves do. And we all are. Slave to sin, right? Here's what slavery offered. Even the people who didn't have an education understood this dynamic here. They knew that they had to toil in the field, shackle and chain, take abuse and be humiliated by a master. All week long. 6 days a week. Doing all kind of hideous stuff to them. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But Sunday was their only day of freedom. That they could dress up for the Lord of their soul. They put their best on. They didn't have a whole lot of best. But God knew the intent of their heart. That they were going to make sacrifices and polish up what they had and proudly step up in the church house with their Bible they can't even read. Attitude, folks. Attitude. People don't have it. They didn't have an education. They spoke today in existence for you. You wasn't even there. They died for you.
Thank you, Father.
But because they understood what that Bible meant to them. It meant freedom. It meant freedom that they never had before. That they speak about, sing about, but never really experienced except on Sunday. How dare we, generations later, decide to halt the tops and hot pants on some occasions? Oh, we ain't too far from it, so don't start that. Oh, we ain't too far from that. Neckline's too low. Sorry, I'm going to tell you like it is, right? Hemline's too high. Look, church and sex don't go together.
That's right.
I'm sorry, they just don't go together.
That's right.
But sexy has came to church, folks.
Yeah.
Playboys come to church. Huh? Pimps all of it. Now, they don't make it seem so obvious, but you know how they look. Huh? You know they sleeves. I'm going to be honest, I ain't got time. They done came to church. Look, start dressing up for God like he's your husband.
Yeah. Yeah.
Start dressing up for God like he's your wife.
Yeah.
You don't want it too tight, too revealing. God don't want you. He talks about Rahab. He talks about how the Israelites two-timed him and all that kind of stuff. We do the same thing. This is not a fashion show.
Amen.
But don't leave your best at home.
Yeah.
Put your best on. Did I stop? Oh, yeah,
Yes.
I did. Sorry. Okay, that's good. Verse 2. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is good, what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God.
Amen. 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 Renew. He talks about your body. Offer that up first. And then you need to start working on your mind. Because the soul, as long as the soul controls the mind, the body's not too far behind. That rhymes. Somebody did right there. As long as the soul is in charge of anything. See, that's our big problem is, our soul. The spirit is the spirit. Flesh is the flesh. They're defined very clearly. Our problem is the soul. It camouflages like it's water. Sometimes it acts like the flesh. Sometimes it acts like the spirit. And when it has free reign, it controls everybody. It's in the driver's seat in our lives. The soul is daring the spirit to take over. Or the flesh. I'm in charge. But the moment you put the spirit in charge of your life, the other two guys, they're going to fight. They're going to fight you for the rest of your life because they want to be in the driver's seat. Yes, ma'am.
Can I read those two from the
Sure.
Romans 12. So, dear brothers and sisters, I plead with you to give your bodies to God because of all He has done for you. Let them be as a living and holy sacrifice, the kind He will find acceptable. This is truly the way to worship Him. Do not copy the customs of this world.
Well,
but let God transform you into a new person by changing the way you think. Then you will learn to know God's will for you, which is good and pleasing and perfect.
Amen.
it's pretty clear. And most young people would listen to us rant and rave, older folks, and say, well, you know, it's easy for y'all to say. Give all that up. I know what I'm talking about. All that fun. Give all that up. I'm young. I'm on the front end of my life. I got all that to experience. I ain't hearing this stuff called sin after y'all done did it all any way you want to. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You done drank it, you done smoked it, you did all that. Now you're old, you ain't got nothing to say, but y'all need to give up sin. That's how young people think. You know why? That's how I used to think. My granddad up there preaching, he y'all need to quit sinning. I'm 14 years old. Yeah, but you just wait. Huh? I'm being honest with you. Nothing's changed. Do you think your young people are listening to us talk about don't sin? No. They tolerate us at best. And the quicker you get to that understanding that they tolerate us, you can help them. Amen. First of all, you got to tell them about your toleration. You tolerated a whole lot. But see, you done arrive somewhere else now. You don't want them to know. You know why? You don't want to be humiliated. Here we go again. Full circle, right? Tell them about some of your humiliation. Not every graphic detail. But tell them, baby, I've been down that road. Here's what I found when I went down there. And I got some other folks will tell you the same things you're going down there you're going to find. Even if they decide not to take your advice, at least you did what you had to do to tell them. So when they come back, they can come back and say, like the prodigal son said, Father, I was wrong. I was wrong. Amen. I gotta go. But stress is a powerful thing. We all experience it. This is the greatest stress reliever in the world. The gospel. Great stress reliever. We got to open it up and read it sometime. Now, next month we're going to talk about how did they overcome? How did they get in the promised land? What did they do to get in there? How did they have 7 years of unprecedented success? How do you have success in your life once you take a step out of the wilderness? Most of us are still going around the rock. Amen? Amen. Amen. See y'all in 2 weeks.